Hey everyone, this is Grixon. I wanted to bring a Mythic Dungeons guide for Tazavesh, Streets of Wonder. I did this dungeon a lot because I really wanted the trinket from here. So I'm going to show you a key and I'm going to show you the route I normally take. Alright, so the first pole, this one can be really rough on fortified. You need to be very aware of that and you need to pretty much use a lot of cooldowns here. This will burst hard. The next pull, once you come inside, this one I group these up with the relics, take it down. This pack here can be combined if it's a tyrannical weak fortified. I would recommend not doing that unless your damage is really good. Then fight this one, little portal mancer, then boss. Then here, combine these guys by themselves. You will have to back up a lot as they put the little spinning things on the ground. From there we come, get this big pole. Worry about this patrol. This is a patrol. They come up here and they come around. So you get this pole. If you want to be extra safe, you wait for the patrol. Get this, then this, then this, and this. These two can be combined if it's a tyrannical weak or you have really good damage. And then for lust timings, you probably lusted on the first boss. Then after I kill all this, I run straight to post. Go here, here, and here, and then I lust on this boss. Then I come back into market. The market part. Do the minigame, do the boss. Then I come here afterwards. Pull these guys in. I usually fight them around here in this corner. Then I fight this guy up in this corner too. Then I fight these. After this, I usually run through the little market square to boss. There's like a little, this guy patrols around, and so you can actually run through market square. Lust this guy on phase 2. And then after that, you're all done. You run back to the market square around this patrol. And then I fight this guy next. Go up top, fight him. And that's perfect count. That's everything you need to see there. Okay, I am going to show you the key now. Okay, here's the key. Let's start it up. All right. So I'm playing Necrolord on this one for no real reason. It's just easier to group things up with the hands, and I feel like it does good damage. I feel like Necrolord's pretty good AoE damage. I'm just playing it right now just to play it. There's no full reason why I'm playing it. It's just what's happening. So these pull pretty much right away. Like I said, they're going to hit hard. That proxy strike really starts to hit you. And there's an AoE like damage mechanic to it as well, like during this. So here you just trying to pull some resources to make sure you're ready for a big hit. You know, if this was a fortified week, it would definitely challenge your health pool a lot more. So you need to make sure that you're not riding too low, because you could easily just get one ticked there if you're at like 50% health and you get hit with a big smack. So I grab all this together, and then we're just trying to kick whatever we can. You know, I probably don't do a great job with this. The stasis beam, you know, we definitely want kicking. Yeah, I lost aggro on that. It kind of happened a little too fast. So, yeah, obviously watching out for swirls, and this dungeon just requires a lot of kicks, a lot of interrupts. So your team needs to be very aware of it. And just any kick. Spark burns, big deal. Stasis, big deal. So because it's tyrannical week, I am going to be grabbing this together. So pulling these guys, letting the slappy hands kind of do some of this work for me. Get some grips in when it can for us. So beam splicer, that thing, if that happens, if you get hit by it, it does damage and it gives you a damage over time that's pretty bad. So I mass gripped, I Gorfiends everybody up here, so we're all away from it. So if you do this double pull, you have to be aware that you're fighting two separate packs who put these beams out. So you need to be positioning things appropriately, because if your team's being hit by it, it's gonna be a bad time. You're gonna get you could get a full wipe here if that beam splice is happening. And I think you can just stun him and not have it go off. But because it's all over there, I'm just dragging him towards the next group. And those beams, you can also jump over them if you time them correctly. So yeah, just going into the next pack. We accidentally got Interceptor. They probably didn't want Interceptor there, but I mean, it's whatever. Hard light. Yeah, just kicking whatever we can. Make sure you're aware of those beams and just staying away from them. Alright, and I'm just chaining this guy in just to keep it going, just to keep the pace. You know, as a tank, you're kind of setting the tempo, and we have great single target damage, so I'm just getting into it, you know. It's very inefficient to fight 1, 2, maybe even just 3 things at a time, so I don't know. I just felt like killing that one thing plus having this is more efficient than just finishing off the one and then fighting this one afterwards. Little things like that can net you a good amount of time at the end of a key. These little beams take a while before they go off, so you don't have to run too frantically. You can stand in one for a little bit because it takes a while. So I kind of just like alternate between the two. So you are constantly kind of moving. Another fun thing is this thing still pushes you back even with Death's Advance, so you should be immune to knockback with Death's Advance, but not the case. It's kind of interesting to know. Alright, Dismantler is... Relic's gonna... He's tricky during this boss, because there's a good amount of time you're trying to position away from the swirling weapons and trying to get away from his little shield. Because you don't want your team to be in front of the shield, because then they can't do damage. And it hurts them. So, as a tank, try your best to keep the shield away from everybody if you can. Oh, and don't stand in front of that. That's bad. So again, we're still next to weapons. That's my fault. I need to position us better. Being against a wall is kind of a bad idea. And I'm trying to move that dang shield. Yeah, that's a very bad spot. So I can't really play against the wall. If you do, it has to be for just a quick amount of time, and then try and position yourself towards the middle again, because people need to be able to move around. If you have any kind of immunity, you can stop that imprison, like he did with his ice block. If it was on the rogue, he could use his cloak for it, you know. Any kind of immunity. Like, think like Sanguine Depth's the first boss, how people have different immunities for the charge. Same thing here. If you get the imprison, you can just immune out of it. Or before it hits you, whichever. So I'm trying to save my cooldowns here because the next pack also hurts. Here I am back in the wall again because of all the swirling blades. So I'm kind of tanking him out here now. kind of putting myself in a tough spot because I don't really have runes. And I'm trying to save all of my cooldowns for the next fight. Which is like a question, you know, like should I really be doing that?
Does that show on my screen? I don't see it. Do you see other people's weapons?
Alright. Combine these. When when comes out, it can still, when gives you the debuff to take increased damage, some of these things can really hurt. The security guys can really hurt during this. So once I get deconstruct on me, I take increased damage from all sources. And when they hit you with that baton, it's a big deal, especially when they're raging. And this pack is going to be very deceiving too. 2 overseers. So they both do the swirly. They both proxy strike you. Look how much that did. So they're going to put out the beam splice that you have to watch out for. Thankfully both of them was on the range, so I didn't have to do anything. Just make sure my health is topped off enough to handle the big hit. Okay, we killed one, and it's a good idea to focus one. Beam splice over there. But yeah, proxy strikes can really hurt. And if both are up, they can both hit you with it at the same time, which can really catch you off guard, especially on a fortified week. So, with these types of packs, you would want to ride high runic power and just be ready to keep high health. Alright, so here comes that right side portion of the dungeon that I do. There's a mob here that'll cast a big circle that if you're in it when it goes off, it'll stun you. And not only that, all of your threat will go to somebody else. Like, you're stunned, so everything will just run to somebody else and kill them. But be very careful of that. The wise guys do it. So you can AMS that little circle and it'll be fine. But that big circle right there, when it goes off, it's like a flashbang. It'll stun you. So normally what happens is the wise guys will put that down and then they'll blink somewhere else. So if you get that big circle, you have to immediately run out, drop everything and run out, and then grip him in. Yeah, there's skulkers all around here. So that the patrol just left. That is the patrol that usually you want to fight first if you're trying to be safe. Or if you're not a blood DK or someone who can just like pull this stuff away. There's another hyperlight, or there's another wise guy, flashbang, deconstruct. So the muscle character will hit you the hardest. The wise guy is scary, but if you're good at running out of those big circles, they're actually not bad. But it's the muscles that'll actually do the most damage to you. So here I am trying to get all this stuff away so we don't pull the patrol. Because the patrol is already coming back. So if you're not confident you'll kill this pack fast, if you're not confident you'll kill the pack fast, then you need to back it away or just wait until it comes back. Back this pack away from the patrol because they go right over there. So you need to back them away pretty far. And actually I hit that circle during the stairs. So either blow up that other pack fast, or just wait for this patrol to come back. They come back relatively fast. That's a judgment call you'll have to make during the key, depending on how fast your team is at killing AoE stuff. So look, they're dropping the circle, and look, you see the wise guy had ran. Like, they teleport out. They drop it and teleport out. So our arcane mage was, if you saw, he was like funneling that guy. So be ready to grip these wise guys, especially when they do that big circle. And other than that, you can stun it before they throw that out. If you see the spell about to happen, you can stun it. Alright. Oh, I forgot that one's still alive over there. You can combine this if you want. I wouldn't recommend it on a fortified week, but you definitely can. These wise guys throw those things and they like to jump around, so they're kind of rough.
Oh, I got the
So the rogue is gonna sleep that one, or sap it, or blind it, or whatever it is they do. So that's just one less wise guy to worry about, because you do have 2 muscle in here, so you have to be very, very careful.
Raging Muscles one is gone.
So I see that one there. I'm just worrying about my health and then just gripping everything in. I think I gore fiends them in on the next one. And there's light shard. That's the one you can stun. If you see him doing light shard, that's the one you stun. So if you have asphyxiate, grip would probably work. Any kind of, any kind of AoE thing, you can stop that cast. And he doesn't repeat the cast right away either. Alright, that's all the count you need from here. Now you are headed off to the mailroom. Because if you look on the top right of my screen, sated is almost up. And after we kill the trash in here, then it'll be good to go. The trash in here can be scary. These sorters will try and unlock the cages. Make sure they do not unlock the cages. If you see one going for a cage, they'll start channeling to open it. You can just grip them, you can asphyxiate them, whatever you need to do. Or your team can do something too if they see it happening. But be careful, you can accidentally open the cage yourself. The fox will leap to other people and do damage. The chickens are the real scary ones because they're gonna panic, run around. When that happens, if they run into you, they will stun you. And if you look in the cage, there's a lot of chickens in the cage, so that's a big deal. So I see that happening. I grip that one in. Yeah, that one got opened. So we do have a fox running around. Also, this little elemental here, he looks like an arcane elemental or something like that. When he dies, he drops a bubble. If you stand in it, you get 50% haste. However, if the enemies are in it, they will also get 50% haste. So if you want to take advantage of it, you need to have you and your team in the bubble, but not the creatures, not the mobs.
I don't know, man. Me mooning KJ has the fucking.
So it might be a good idea during these packs, if you have a lot of priority or funnel damage, to kill one of the male elementals. Male elementals, sorry. Male elementals. Don't know what I'm thinking. So I actually messed up on a grip. So we opened a cage there. Because I didn't have one. Or asphyxiate. I probably could have gore fiends though. So if you kill a male elemental, everybody in it will get 50% haste. So here I am trying to get them out of it so we can use it. So it might be a good call to prioritize killing one and then you controlling the mobs out of it. So your team can get 50% haste,
Is it worth doing all the soaks, or is it only if you're like in the center that it's worth doing?
It does damage to you if you soak.
Right.
It doesn't last too long, so I mean, you might be able to do something with an elemental to save it for boss. I'm not sure. But there's a lot of movement in this fight. I'm afraid to accidentally give the boss 50% haste. When these come out, you need to soak them. Just to stop the puddles on the ground. It's not crucial you stop every single one, because they do a little bit of damage to you when you do soak them. This big one, everybody needs to soak, unless they have an immunity like Ice Block. You could solo it with Ice Block, so no one has to take any damage. When these mailboxes or these packages come out, you have to grab one and just throw it in the receptacle that actually has like like a vent that actually has papers coming out.
One more,
For
go on.
invincible one?
Let's go.
Oh, one more. Oh, you got it. Okay.
I'm so slow.
And then it's rinse and repeat.
Grab the ones that aren't
Soak
already
what you
in.
can here. Fan mail is just a big AoE that you either stay away from or, you know,
Any order on me? I just
healer
can't
heals
remember.
through, and then you soak this one.
Already closed.
We're already in.
Okay.
We're already all in.
And then the next one is just the explosive packages that you have to pick up and put in the vent.
I'll pop on the next.
Sorry, this is actually like a boss explanation too, because there's a lot of people who haven't done this dungeon at all.
Don't see anyone?
And then you just drop them in.
Maybe in the last.
I would. It has a long timer before you die from it, so before they explode, and you could probably eat one of them. If the boss is at like 20%, 15%, and then the packages come out,
We wipe that?
I would say just ignore them and finish the boss. Just burn the boss before they explode,
Oh, okay.
because they have a generous timer.
The animation closed, you can still get it in there.
On me. I have defense for this one. And cooldown spawns.
Okay, so this one we actually have 20% left on the boss, or 19 when the first one comes out. We shouldn't even touch these. We should just kill boss. We shouldn't have even done this. Like, and that would have been the correct call. And I think some of them are just DPSing. Like, it's on me. Like, I don't know why I'm doing that. Like, why when we can just kill him? So that was a mistake on my part. Can save you a few seconds.
Also did just focus boss
I
instead.
could have burned boss anyway. I looked right as they started coming out. It was 800k. I didn't think we could do it with 800.
27%.
Okay, now doing the market. So in this market, if you've never done before, there's different sellers who will take different items. You talk to this guy on the left, he drops an item. You buy the item and it goes on the ground. Then whatever item you get, you have to go to the appropriate
So cheap
seller or the appropriate buyer. You do it 3 times and then you get a password to open the bar. So you do the first one and then you get a different type of food or a different type of commodity. And you have to talk to the right guy to get through. There is a weak order you can get that puts the icon of the ingredient correlated with who buys it on your mini map. So there are things you can do here. And then as the tank, you know, you're just trying to slow what you can, make sure things aren't fighting him. I kind of stood here too long. I need to be by him. So I need to kind of like distract, but stay. Like, I was afraid that that guy was going to hit somebody. But look, he gets a strong arm on him, and look how much it's hurting. It's big damage. And that's totally my fault there. You can grip, you can slow, you can root. All kinds of things you can do during this part.
I guess, can I drop it in that case? And
Yeah.
Okay,
Or just disappear link.
so after you've done it 3 times, you get the password.
okay, password is here. Yeah, we can also just head there.
So the password is, you can look in your chat window to see Crimson Knife.
Crimson knife.
So then you just talk to the guy, like the bouncer at the door. You give him the correct password, and then he opens the door. Anything you had aggroed before, you will need to kill.
Crimson knife.
Crimson knife, got it.
Now, just, you can't cheese this encounter. He actually doesn't offer the right password in the beginning. So if you were to click him and then pick a password, you're not going to actually get it correct. The correct one isn't on there. So he'll always kick you away and do damage to you. So there's just no point even like trying a password until you learn it. Okay, you pick up instruments here.
You can do.
Tank usually gets the horn.
I think eventually we'll want to.
You're going to want a ranged or the healer. If it's a ranged healer, if it's like a paladin, you probably don't want him on the drums because he'll be stuck there. Anyone who likes to be in melee as a healer won't want that. So a paladin, probably druid or mistweaver monk probably won't want to be on that.
Because you want to get the damage buff.
You get a damage buff and haste from doing these notes correctly. And the big thing here as tank is the security guard. He will put menacing shout, which needs to be interrupted or else it's AoE damage to the team.
I got it.
And then he does a tank buster to you. That's pretty much it.
What the hell, man? Leave some damn for the rest of us. I'm just kidding. Do that every time. Do that every time. Do that every time.
Two would actually wore off.
Yeah. And then yeah, watch out for the green swirlies. And then just do the notes. They can pop up during the fight too, like when you're actually in a fight phase. And so if you get it, you can delay your, I mean, you could keep your jazzy buff going. Okay, same thing. This is just rinse and repeat. Phase 3 is when you get something different. In phase 3, there's a frontal you'll have to watch out for. So again, the big important kick is from the security guard. That's why I have him as my focus kick. That menacing shout needs to be interrupted, or else it's big damage for the team. Alright, so this is the last wave. Okay, so that Zogron guy, he does a tank buster on you, he still does menacing shout, and he has a AoE frontal you have to be careful of. Oh, and also he pulls you in, I'm sorry. He also tries to pull you in and do a bunch of damage. So that crowd control, you see he has a thing around him, he's gonna shoot. He's gonna shoot away from that can one-shot people. Drifter is actually kind of big here because when he does that pull in, you can just get away from it. But crowd control, you need to watch out for that frontal right there. Okay. Suppression. Suppression, if you have Drifter, you can just run. Like if you get the woe relic, you can just run out. And it's fine. Okay, I'm just going to try and do big damage. Crowd control again, watch out for frontal. That's that tank buster, but it had a couple shields on. And that's the whole fight. Pretty self-explanatory, not too bad.
Nice hippo.
Hippo.
But yeah, and we still have some woe cipher to get there fast, at least upward some.
Is it possible to like start the next boss right now and have a bus? You don't want to bus till midway through the boss anyway, right? So you can't get too more regardless.
I did my nitro boost there to get up a little farther. Sometimes a mob spawns right there that you have to watch out for.
That rogue has a name, you know.
Alright. I pull these, 3 of these. There's some stuff you need to watch out for. These spark casters do the scintillate, which will hurt a lot. So, and they also do a leap. They leap on somebody and give them a damage amplification to them. So you have to kick that, and you have to stack, or else they'll leap. To prevent that, you just all stack and they won't leap on anybody. They leap on anybody who's like 10 yards away from everybody else. The power kick will knock you back. You can use Death's Advance if you want to. I usually just tank in the wall. So, on the wall there, you don't really move. You just take damage.
I really wish I had Sue for that guy. He's big and cranky. Okay.
Stop that if you can, the phalanx field or whatever. It's just a damage reduction. Okay. Alright, this boss, this wall right here is kind of like a fake wall. So you can actually like stand on the other side of it and still do DPS. It doesn't line of sight you. So he puts these mines down, which you want to watch out for. Don't get hit by the mines. And if you get this pole attraction thing, if he stands here, like he can't, there's no way he can get pulled into the other guy who has it. So it's a way to be able to do DPS. So like if the two of them get hit by it, they just stand on the other side of each other. And they can still do everything they need to.
One more pull after this, and then I go do RP.
Yeah.
I can't find you, so you're gonna die.
What's even hitting me?
I think you got pulled into a mine.
So when these are almost dead. Alright. So this last mob is count. This is percent right here. We're gonna run through the middle of the market. So again, trying to stack everything together so they're not getting pounced on. Kicking abilities and tanking in the wall for power kick.
Oh my god, I thought you said type Mustafa was fine!
I think you, yeah, okay, but it's because scan plate's going on.
Really? And I did not have the debuff because you can dispel it.
Okay, just kick everything.
Who's the Jake's getting one shot?
So yeah, be careful. These mobs can really hurt if you don't treat them properly. If everybody doesn't like stack relatively close. So here, this patrol will get in your way. So if you're quick about it, you can come around this little spot, and then you're fine.
I literally don't think a single person beside you was gonna get perp. That thing was like within a foot.
But yeah, we're done with counts. We just fight this boss and then the last boss, and that's the rest. That's the key. It's actually not too bad.
It's actually just my
Oh, wait, you have 100% right now?
Yeah, we're done.
Oh,
We're done with the dungeon. We can leave.
We killed this.
Well, no, you gotta kill some bosses.
We killed this,
damn
and
it.
then we run through the market again. Alright, so this gives you gluttony. When the next boss comes out, he will spawn orbs on the ground. Gluttony lets you soak it, and then
Oh, we're like
you will
mile
get
time right now.
increasing damage that you can do. So your damage done is increased by a significant amount the more orbs you soak. Then after the time is over of gluttony, it'll give it to the person next to you, or the closest to you. So if like your melee DPS gets it, when it's almost over, he can tell and then like run out to give it to somebody else. Generally, you want to give it to somebody who's going to have big cooldowns. You give it to them, you let them soak some orbs, and then just go crazy on the cooldowns. So it is a predictable thing you can do. At 20%, the next boss comes down. So if you get this guy to 20%, it'll trigger the next boss. This is the boss who spawns the orbs. So gluttony is going to matter for this.
My bad, I already did the one. I'm an idiot. You do melee.
I like to tank him in the corner, and I think it's recommended to tank him in the corner. That flagellation is a tank buster. You blow up the shield and then you can interrupt it. This venting protocol is what spawns the anima orbs that the person with gluttony needs to soak. So if you saw, our rogue just gave it to the warlock. If you soak the orbs when you don't have gluttony, you will actually take some damage and you will deal less damage during the duration. So it's like one person gets increased damage and everybody else would get decreased damage if you take an orb.
Oh, I have it.
Venting protocol. Just watch out for orbs if you don't have gluttony. See, I did hit one there and it did damage to me and makes it so I'll do less. So I like to tank this guy during the side of the room, because when the next boss comes out, you want those orbs spawning from like far away. You don't want them spawning in the middle of the room. A lot of people are going to eat them on accident.
I'm actually just gonna AFK while all this shit's going on. Oh, it booped me back. Okay, that's good.
So just try and dodge them if you don't have gluttony.
Chains on me. Also gluttony.
Whoever has chains of domination can,
Chains on me.
they can hit their own chains. They can do DPS on their own chains.
Who should I get this?
Now she does a run out. She does like a suction thing. She gives you the big suck that you want to just run away from.
Jane's
Because she pulls you in, she'll do like a big, like, AoE cleave on you. Alright, so that, yeah, orbs are just periodically spawning all the time. So whereas Gluttony can get them for a big damage buff. And everybody else just has to dodge them.
I'm dead. Fuck.
on me.
It might be worth it to have people stack close to melee. So that way whoever has a Gluttony can just soak the ones by melee.
Soak things.
And then also whenever those chains of domination happen, they don't happen all the way out in the woods somewhere. Death's Advance can get you out of this too.
Ow. So you can't like run away from that?
But you have to run
just
away
start
from
running.
this.
You don't really use speed movement. You can just... And that's pretty much the whole fight. Just watch out for orbs, run away when she tries to pull you in, help kill chains of domination. Soak when you have the buff. We were doing good, but this is gonna get us over. So yeah, I actually Death's Advance here.
We're still okay, actually. Last boss didn't take that long.
What's up, time?
Yeah, we're
500,000.
still actually okay.
So yeah, it does become a bit of a DDR phase here. So if you can manage Gluttony really good and have someone soak some of them and then do like all their burst, you can actually abuse this boss quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from there, you're just running right up to the last boss.
Cloak, if we wanna, or
Yeah,
try
let's go.
rather.
That should be safe. That should be safe, yeah.
We're all here. Let's cheer.
Strong, but it's away.
I don't have sprint. Actually, I do have sprint. I'm just gonna distract these guys.
Right. We shrouded there just to be safe, but we didn't need to. We could have waited for the patrol and just ran through.
I'll start drinking. I think I can drink.
Alright, then it's just last boss. They do a little bit of RP, and then you fight. But you need to be careful with this. If you fight him too fast, you can actually mess him up and he'll despawn. I really don't know the bug with this. I hope it gets hotfixed. If you fight him the second he's able to be fought, it can just mess up. And there it goes.
What?
I love it, dude.
What?
It wastes like 25-30 seconds from your key. So if you're close like we are to timing this, that's a big deal. That's a lot of time we don't have.
Alright, well, you almost had it.
Fix your fucking shit.
So then we have to wait around. Yeah, it's literally like 25-30 seconds.
This is the second time in a row I've seen that happen, and I've only done this dungeon twice.
Alright. Watch out for these because you will teleport through them as they're running. As they're just casually going around. It's worth it also for this boss to stack because when he does his quick blade, he's going to dash to other people. And it's hard for melee to keep attacking him if he's dashing so far out of melee.
Why are they still moving?
So it's very helpful to be stacking, and then you can coordinate where you need to run to. And when he does divide, you won't be really caught off guard. See how he's like dashing so far away? It's because we haven't decided to start stacking yet. Alright, we need to get to circle. Other people are doing a better job of it than me. I also hit the stun because I'm worried about the Nova. So actually, I do AMS right here. And it doesn't apply any debuff to you if you AMS through it. So we're going to run to square because that's where it is.
We don't want to get split off by divide.
Oh, really? Went around top today.
Alright. Now. Yeah, it's... So the quick blade, see how he's dashing around. The closer we're together, the least amount he's doing that. But you are going to want to fight him in a quadrant because he will do one more divide.
Him teleporting around.
And it's good for everybody to stay together. Because he can end his quick blade on the ranged and then have a long run time. fights. Right, now that we're stacked, these quick blades are going to not do much. Also, he does another ability called double technique where you have to kick him. And it has 2 kicks needed, and they share a cooldown with each other. So if you kick the first one with like 0.5 seconds left, you need to have somebody else kick the second one real fast.
Circle. Wait till the very end. I'll speak first.
So here we go. We're letting the double technique happen. Archie's gonna kick it first, and I'm gonna kick it like right after him. So he's letting it go pretty far. I have a second to respond, which is perfectly fine.
So it's also like the 2 cast times are shared, I think.
Yeah.
So you want to do it like the second wave. And I think we do one more jump through, and then after that we just focus boss. Like, you can ignore it or AMZ or whatever you do to help your team if another Nova happens. But if you're close to killing, might as well. So we're going circle to triangle to square. Gotta do a little bit of stuff on the fly there.
Finish him. 45 seconds. We got this.
Alright, so we don't have much time here. And I see another Nova starting way off in the corner, so I'm just like, ignore it, just kill. Don't worry about this. We have a Spirit Link, we have AMZ, we have a lot of things to help. So we're just gonna kill. I put the AMZ in case. Got it. 26 seconds left.
Nice.
17 timed on a tyrannical week.
3 more levels.
We're 3 away, dude.
Alright. I hope you guys enjoy the key. If I rambled too much about the abilities or what to be concerned about, please let me know. This is a bit different format than my usual. Because they are newer dungeons, I think a lot of people haven't done them. Especially if you're a tank, you might be a little intimidated to try them. So I'll also be doing one for Gambit as well. But here's Streets of Wonder. It's really not that bad. There's just, you need to know which packs are going to hit you hard and prepare for them. And yeah.
It's not main stat. And
If you like the content, please like it. If you've been here this long, consider subscribing. Like if you've been this far in the video for more content. It helps me out. I'm a small YouTuber growing. And yeah, awesome. I'll see you guys in the next key. Thank you very much.